Welcome everybody into Cox Mill High School here in Concord, North Carolina, as we get set to start game one of this doubleheader here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. My name is David Katzenmeyer, joined by Zane Metz today, and we are under a bit of a delayed start at the moment as things still getting worked out between the umpires and the coaches of the Kingsmen and the Copperheads. So while we wait, we hope that sit back and enjoy. Go ahead and take this time to grab some popcorn, some soda, whatever you need for the game tonight. And we will be back with you shortly here from Cox Mill High School for the start of Game 1. It is a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Concord, North Carolina, as we set to bring you the first game of the doubleheader here between the Lake Norman Copperheads and Kingsmen baseball. My name is David Katzenmeyer. Accompanying me today is Zane Metz, and we welcome you in here live on YouTube as we'll be bringing you all 14 innings of action here tonight. So the Copperheads and the Kingsmen will be playing a doubleheader here, 2 games, 7 innings. So hopefully 14 innings, but if we have a few more to go into extras, extra baseball is always nice. So getting things started here for the Lake Norman Copperheads, we will have Anthony Casiola on the mound. Casiola has been one of the best pitchers in the SCBL and getting the nod tonight in a very, very pivotal game here against the Kingsmen. Both these teams come into today standing at 7-4 in the SCBL standings on top, tied at the top. Only the Spinners are right behind them. So, Zane, how are you feeling today before we get started here?
You know, I'm very excited. I would not be surprised if we saw any extra baseball tonight. These two teams very close. They played earlier this year at Coxmill High School. The Copperheads got their first W of the season, and when the Copperheads had to visit York, South Carolina, the Kingsmen gave the Copperheads their first loss of the year, so a very even series so far. The Copperheads showing their big guns today, starting off tonight with Anthony Casiola. Pitched 1 inning a couple games ago, but his overall stats are tremendous this season. 13 innings pitched with a sub-1 ERA at .69, 10 strikeouts, 2 wins. Just a great season so far and trying to continue it here.
Starting for the Kingsmen tonight, the center fielder Cam McNearney will be leading things off for them, followed by the third baseman Anthony Mitta, the shortstop Sawyer Reeves, the designated hitter Burt Camper, the first baseman Dalton Reeves, the second baseman Aiden Rice, the right fielder Luke Jenkins, the extra hitter Gavin Phillips, the catcher Justin Stewart, and the left fielder Zane McIlvaine.
Yeah, and the two guys that really stand out to me in this lineup is the DH tonight, Burt Camper. Camper, arguably the best hitter so far in this SCBL season, leading in home runs, leading in RBIs, one of the best averages in the league. And the other guy that stands out to me is batting 6th tonight, Aiden Rice, the Davidson commit, a young guy but has shown his presence so far this season with a good average.
Absolutely, and those two guys are part of the reason why the Kingsmen have been as dominant as they have been so far. But from all the SCBL action that I've watched so far this year, this short rivalry these two teams have kind of built up has really been one of the most intense throughout the SCBL so far. I mean, there was a lot of emotion in that 4-run loss that the Kingsmen had here at Coxmill, and with the Copperheads blowing a 2-run lead down in York at the Kingsmen Stadium, losing an extra innings for their first loss, both these teams have a reason to kind of have some fight tonight. Not only that, but being at the top of the standing as well.
Yeah, it's such pivotal at the top of the standings. If you sweep the doubleheader here for either the Copperheads or the Kingsmen, that turns the table so much at the top of the standings.
So Anthony Casiola gets things started on the mound as he faces Cam McNearney. First pitch is a ball inside.
Casiola, not too much of a strikeout pitcher, but trying to pitch to contact here, let defense play behind him. We'll see. He needs good control here early on.
The right-hander readies for the 1-0. Another fastball missing inside. That's where his misses were during warm-ups today that we were seeing. Missed a couple times on that inside part of the plate. Had one kind of slip out of his hand that came to the backstop. So finding control here in the first is going to be pivotal for Casiola. McNearney watches that one go by, and a little too high, stays out of the zone. So the count now 3 balls and no strikes. So quickly Casiola finds himself in a difficult situation with the leadoff man up.
Yeah, one thing that stood out to me in Casiola's last start against the A's was that he wouldn't get up in counts early, but he would fight back and find a way to claw it at bat, but he walks the first batter here today. 3
fastballs missed inside on that at bat, so Casiola needing to find a little bit of control here as he walks the first batter in Cam McNearney. The third baseman, Anthony Mitta, digs in from the left side now for the Kingsmen.
Third baseman, number 10, Anthony Mitta.
Mitta was a formidable foe, bringing in a couple of the runs in the 4 runs that the Kingsmen scored last time they took the trip to Coxmill.
Yeah, the Kingsmen just such a good lineup top to bottom.
There's the first strike thrown by Casiola as he finds a 2-seamer that's able to catch the inside part of the plate. No balls, 1 strike now on the third baseman, Mitta. Seeing Cassiola work out of the stretch for the first time tonight, holds that ball in his right hand as he hovers it. Now he'll fire back to first, a very fast throw back there, but getting back in time is Cam McNearney. Doesn't want to let that quick speed in the leadoff man advance any further here. The kick from chest high, and that's another fastball that misses on the outside part of the plate.
And you can see to your left side, Kyle Whitaker obviously looking for that bunt. Doesn't want to have 2 runners on early on.
So count now runs 1-1. Cassiola sets. Gives the nod, and now the delivery. Runner's going to go, and they got him down at second. Koneski almost didn't see the runner go. There was really no word or signal from anybody down on the field that the runner was going, and the throw from his knees is in time. It almost looked like there was a hesitation there from McNearney as well, as he wasn't, with the jump that he got, he should have been there easily standing in at second. However, is gunned down by the strong arm of Koneski.
Yeah, Koneski's such a big kid. Didn't you have to get up there, threw it from his knees, and that was an absolute dart across the infield.
The 2-1 misses low and now turns into 3 balls and 1 strike here on Mitta, so at risk of walking another one. But Koneski and Cassiola going to have a meeting at the mound, trying to discuss their plans, maybe calm some nerves here. Currently 88 degrees here in Concord. High today is right around 90, but with the clouds shaded, hopefully they'll stick around in this breeze. It's not too bad out here tonight. Humidity is definitely down from what it was yesterday, and a much more pleasant temperature to be outside watching some great baseball.
Yeah, a lot of great baseball going around the SCBL tonight with the doubleheader here, and then at Moore Park, the Spinners hosting the Vipers.
We will make sure to keep you updated on that score once that game gets underway as well. And ball 4 called on a fastball that missed low in the zone. Koneski thought that he framed it well, but the umpire says otherwise, and another man will move on to first base with 1 away in the inning.
Now batting the shortstop, number 5, Sawyer Reeves.
The shortstop, Sawyer Reeves, one of the Reeves brothers on this Kingsmen roster, digs in. The shortstop batting in the 3-hole here as Cassiola readies on him. He'll deliver home, and that's a fastball that finds the outside part of the plate. Very nice location on that first pitch, 0-1.
Yeah, much needed to get ahead of the count right there.
So he finds himself ahead in the count for the first time tonight on Reeves. Working quickly now back to the plate is Cassiola, and an off-speed pitch has Reeves out in front and quickly now down 0-2.
Cassiola now just picking his spots and executing those, and that's what he's done so far this season. It's worked great here, and it's worked great in this at-bat.
The 0-2 delivery. Swing and a ground ball over towards Kyle Whitaker at third. However, ball spins and will remain foul, so the count remains at 0-2. So Reeves showing some fight here against Cassiola. 1 away so far in the inning. 2 walks have been issued by Cassiola, but he's looking for his first punch out here. The 1 out in the inning came on a caught stealing by the leadoff man, Cam McNearney. The 0-2 again, and that one's going to get all the way to the backstop. Mitta will advance to second base, and that's one of the things that we saw in the warm-up pitches when trying to overthrow that fastball. He's missed low, and it's been able to get by Koneski. So a runner now in scoring position for Sawyer Reeves as the Kingsmen hope to strike early here. Reeves leans in, gets the sign from Koneski. Koneski, one of 3 great catchers on this roster, but he gets the nod for game 1 here today. Fastball down low, but swing and a miss on Sawyer Reeves. Strike 3. Cassiola finds himself his first punch out and records the second out of the inning.
Now batting designated hitter, number 9, Burke Camper.
The designated hitter, number 9, Burke Camper, comes up to the plate, and the ever so dangerous man that Zane was talking about before the game got started leads the SCBL in home runs, and we've already seen him hit one over the fence here at Cox Mill High School in his last trip here.
Yeah, Camper with video game-like stats, a .417 average, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs, and only 15 hits. So big hits when he gets them, and he just committed to Utah Valley University, so congratulations for him moving from Townsend across the nation to Utah.
Congratulations to Burke Camper, and with those numbers, they have to be very, very happy with the guy that they're getting, especially with how good he's seeing the dominant pitching in this league. He waved through a fastball in the first pitch, so Cassiola will deliver the 0-1 and a swing and a miss on that. Now 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. The third baseman, Anthony Mitta, standing out on second for the Kingsmen. Designated hitter Burke Camper looking to drive him in, but finds himself in an 0-2 count. 2 away in the inning. Infield shaded regularly, same with the outfield. Cassiola looks in and he'll deliver. Off-speed pitch Camper lays off of. It hits the dirt. So the count now moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
But still a good pitch there. We saw Camper reach on a breaking pitch the pitch before, see if he can test him again. But Camper, good eye there and laying off that pitch.
Very good take, especially when you've seen fastballs wave by you the first 2. We'll try the 1-2 now. Cassiola's pitch. And they say that Camper went around for strike 3. 2 strikeouts for Anthony Cassiola to get things started here. The Kingsmen strand a man on second base as we head to the bottom of the first inning. The Lake Norman Copperheads will lead off with Ixarino when we come back here from Cox Mill High School in just a minute. Ixarino leads things off for the Lake Norman Copperheads as we get set to start the bottom of the first inning. The starting pitcher tonight for the Kingsmen, number 18, Julian Parson.
Off the bottom of the first for Lake Norman, the shortstop, number 4, Ixarino.
And Sereno, just the guy that you want to lead off your team with a high average of .357 average so far this season.
So the 3 starting batters will be the shortstop, Ixarino, the left fielder, Christian Maceda, and the first baseman, Jackson Taylor, all due up here in the top of the first for the Kingsmen. And that's a fastball that catches the outside part of the plate for the first strike.
Julian Parson, a product of UC Upstate from north of the border in Ontario, Canada. Had a good season last season in college, 16 2/3 any pitch with a 5.94 ERA.
Sereno fouls that one off and breaks his bat in the process, so got to go grab another one as he was rung up on the handle there and thought about snapping his over his knee for the fun of it, but decided against it in the long run. So like you said, Parson, a product of USC Upstate, a couple of the guys from the Kingsmen from there. Produced a lot of talent out of that school, not only in baseball but in football as well. The 0-1 from Parson. And Sereno fouls that one off the screen down the first base line, quickly behind 0-2. So Parson, a guy working out of the stretch here to get things started. Very similar stretch position to Cassiola. The 0-2, and Sereno watches that one go by, and he's rung up on strikes. He'll get himself a backwards K in the book. As Christian Maceda, the left fielder, now digs in for the Copperheads.
Great way to start off your day by Parsons right there. Just frame it on the outside part of the plate and get a K to start off your first batter.
And a tough way to go down for Sereno, looking in the first at-bat. But he'll definitely have a lot better knowledge of his location when he comes up next time. And does not go there on the first pitch is Maceda, as that was a ball down in the dirt. Thought about chasing it, but it broke too much at the end for his liking. So 1 ball and no strikes here as the sun starts to peek out behind the clouds, and a fastball from Parson misses in the lefty's batter box, 2-0.
Maceda has been so dangerous this year with runners in scoring position, second in the league in RBIs. No runners on right now, but can a chance to get an RBI if it sends one over the wall.
2 balls and no strikes here as it quickly moves 3 balls and no strikes as Parson unable to find the zone so far in this at-bat. The 3-0 from Parson. Called strike on the inside part of the plate. Christian Maceda thought he had ball 4, excuse me, and it ends up being strike 1. So now a real hitters count here at 3-1. Parsons' delivery is a breaking pitch that misses too far inside. It was trying to work its way back, but doesn't have enough spin on it. And Maceda will take his base down at first and be the first base runner for Lake Norman tonight.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 15, Jackson Taylor.
The first baseman, Jackson Taylor, now steps in from the left side of the plate. As Parson now dealing with a runner on, still working out of that stretch position, whether the bases are clear or whether they're loaded. Delivery from the chest, and that's a fastball that misses down low. Showing bunt there was Taylor.
Maceda, one of the key pieces in this very fast outfield. Everybody on this Copperheads roster that plays outfield has gotten a stolen base this year, and Maceda, one of the leaders in that group.
Holding him on tight there at first base. Not a very big lead. Parsons will go home with it. And that'll bounce out of the glove of Justin Stewart, who is the starting backstop for the Kingsmen tonight. Anthony Mitta, Sawyer Reeves, Aiden Rice, and Dalton Reeves line third base, shortstop, second base, and first base for the Kingsmen. Lane McIlvaine, Cam McNearney, and Luke Jenkins line left, center, and right. Runner will go, and it bounces out of the glove of Stewart. No throw and no slide from the runner standing at second, and Christian Maceda finds himself in scoring position now as Parson has a 3-0 count listed on Jackson Taylor.
And David, one of the things that I'm intrigued with this game is how the Copperheads will utilize players that played good in the first leg of the doubleheader, the second leg. Last time we saw a doubleheader here at Coxmo High School, Coach Sean Stevens really had a completely different lineup in the second game. We'll see if he continues with that or keep with the guys that are hot in the first game.
From what I gathered talking with him last night after last night's game and so far today is that the outcomes of last night's game has had a very big impact on who started this one and who is going to be moving into the second game as well. We see a couple guys who are still on the bench who played a very pivotal role last night in the one-run loss that are not starting tonight that I assume are being saved for tomorrow, the later game, excuse me. The 3-1 from Parson, and that's a fastball that slides by Taylor.
But there's also some guys in this Copperheads lineup that played a huge part in the game that are starting today. Like Kyle Whitaker had that 3-run moonshot in the bottom of the 9th inning, and then Omen, he had 2 doubles yesterday.
So Parson worked his way back to a full count here. He looked back towards second before kicking home, and a swing and a miss on a fastball inside. And brought down on strikes is Jackson Taylor, so he is the second out of the inning, as that now brings up the catcher Jacob Kuneski.
Now batting the catcher, number 9, Jacob Kuneski.
And Jacob Kuneski with some real power. We saw the power that he had in his arm when he made that throw from playing catcher to shortstop and to second base, and he didn't have to get up off his knees to make that throw and get him out. Kuneski with 1 bomb already this year at Charlotte Latin School playing the Vipers.
Shows the hitting power of all these catchers, as Astudillo was in the 4-hole yesterday, and now Kuneski finds himself in the same spot here. First pitch he sees from Parson is a fastball up. So the count gets started at 1-0. Two outs, runner on first base. Very similar to the situation that we saw the Kingsmen had in the top of the frame. The 1-0 is barreled, but should stay in the yard. Tracing back on it is the left fielder, Lane McIlvain, and he has it to end the inning. So the Copperheads strand 1 as the Kingsmen did in the top of the frame. And we will be back to see the first baseman, Dalton Reeves, lead things off for the Kingsmen in the top of the 2nd inning here from Coxmill High School. 3.
Welcome back here to Coxmill High School for the top of the second inning, as Anthony Cassiola is back on the mound for his second inning of work. The infield very much shaded to the right. That one will be a strike to start off the inning.
Oh, Zane, you crack me up. Zane's got his microphone like in his mouth. I love it.
I don't even realize it half the time. That one in the opposite batter's box for ball 1. As we don't see shifts too much in the SCBL, but this one a major here. Whitaker almost in the grass part of the infield on the left side, and then everybody else on the right side.
Yeah, Whitaker's playing a hard shortstop right now, as they've got 3 infielders shaded to the right side, and even the outfield shaded a bit off to the right. So Dalton Reeves hopes to avoid the same fate his brother had against Cassiola with a strikeout. Count now standing at 2-1.
And that would be outside and high for ball 3. Which, I mean, it do make sense that they're playing on the right side of the field, because when you look at Dalton Reeves' spray chart on the point streak, everything's going to the right side of the field. And that one would be ball 4, so Cassiola walks the first batter of this inning for the second inning in a row. And we'll see if he can get out of a jam like he did in the first.
Yeah, Cassiola started the first inning with back-to-back walks and then finished things off with 2 strikeouts. One of those outs coming at the hands of Cam McNearney as he was caught stealing at second.
So now up to the plate is the Davidson commit Aiden Rice. Rice just coming out of high school this past season, getting ready for his college ball in the A-10 next year, as that will be strike 1. Davidson had a great season this year, just falling short to VCU in the conference tournament. Davidson, one of the only couple teams with 30-plus home wins this season in college baseball.
Very impressive.
Rice will lay down the punt and then bunt, and Cassiola will step off the mound.
Well, Cassiola was making sure the infield realized what was the situation as well, as it almost looked like Xavier Baker wasn't ready for the play.
As you see, the bunt by Rice, and he will be tagged out for the first out of the inning. So Cassiola gets his first out of the inning. He's trying to limit the damage here. Now 1 runner in scoring position, and up to the bat for the Kingsmen is Luke Jennings, the right fielder.
Once again, an extremely similar situation that we saw in the first inning. Almost same exact situation here. Runner standing on first base and out on the board with a very dangerous hitter in the right fielder, Luke Jenkins, up.
Cassiola will get his sign from Kuneski and deliver. Swung on into shallow center field. That one will be caught, and the runner will tag up and decide to go back, as the throw from James Oman, the Chipola College product, will be a good one and hold the runner. And then there goes 2 outs in the inning.
So with 2 away, the extra hitter, Gavin Phillips, will be due up for the Kingsmen.
Now batting the extra hitter, number 12, Gavin Phillips.
The Kingsmen utilizing the extra hitter here tonight. The Copperheads deciding not to. They will run with the standard 9 hitters. The Kingsmen running with the 10.
Cassiola's first pitch to that bat will be a strike. Gets up in the count early.
And I'm not sure if you can really see it on the camera, but his 2-seamer has a lot of movement on it. Like, it's not just coming in there straight at you. That thing is bending it a good bit when it releases out of his hand.
A 1 pitch from Cassiola. That'll be another strike, and he's up in the count 0-2 here. Gavin Phillips is falling behind and have to find a way to fight back here.
We thank all of you for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon. Currently 18 of you with us, and we wouldn't have it any other way here from Coxmill High School. If you've got any questions for us or want to drop any comments or anything about the game, please do so. Feel free, and we'd love to answer any questions, as a huge swing and a miss and the strikeout on Gavin Phillips gets the Copperheads out of another man-on-second situation. So 2 now stranded in the game for the Kingsmen, 1 here in the top half of the second. We will move to the bottom half of the second where Zane will continue with his play-by-play, and we will be right back with the Copperheads up to bat.
The bottom of the second inning as the Copperheads will have 5, 6, 7 up here. Starting it off is Jaden Hackbarth. Hackbarth had his hand in pitching last night, pitched 2 2/3 inning, and he wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't, especially for a position player, as he could throw it 35 or he could throw it 70. Just depended on what he was feeling like.
Yeah.
But Hackbarth back in his natural position here, currently playing DH today and looking to continue his monster season.
A 1 pitch, that'll be swung on by Hackbarth to the shortstop. He will field it high hop, throw it over to the first, and it will not be in time to get past the first baseman, as that was a tough play by Sawyer Reeves. Just a high hop off the tough infield we have here at Copperheads High School, very dry out. So, bad hop for him, had to throw it across the infield, and no shot to get him as Hackbarth was sprinting down to first.
No, not at all. The ball reacts here almost like a turf field would with how high and hard it bounces at times. It's just the way that the grass is this time of year here out at Copperheads High School, where it is just a super, super tough ground, especially with the lack of rain and the high temperatures we've had, as we've had some record-setting temperatures recently here in Concord. So the dirt bounces soft and the grass bounces like a sponge. So very hard for some of these guys to figure out how the ball is going to react.
Next up for the Copperheads is Jeremiah Guzman from Hartford Community College, as he will lay down a punt, and that will miss. So Guzman down on the count 0-1. He will look over to manager Sean Stevens for a sign. Stevens gives the sign to the runner and Guzman. Lays down a couple claps to his players. 0-1 count. Guzman swings, and it will hit him in the side. Now the count runs to 0-2.
So Hackbarth's at-bat officially ruled a reach on error. That error addressed to Sawyer Reeves. So still no hits for either side in this one.
Guzman back in the box, down 0-2, no outs in the inning. And now it'll be outside and high for ball 1. Hackbarth over there at first base trying to play with the pitcher a little bit, going back and forth, back and forth. Hackbarth no stolen bases so far this season, but still getting in the mind of the pitcher. He will fire back over there, and he did not get him as Hackbarth was antsy to lead off there. Had to dive back very quick and barely got under the tag.
His foot slipped out from under him when he was trying to pivot to head back towards first base. Very lucky to still be standing out on the base pass after a quick throw back from Parson.
Parson will not get the sign from Stewart. Shake off one pitch. And likes the second one he gets. 1-2. And that is high. Almost gets Hackbarth in the head, almost gets Guzman in the head as Hackbarth will advance to second base. So now Guzman has a runner in scoring position to play with.
Yeah, Guzman was off to a cold start in the game yesterday. Heated up towards the end of it, was part of the Copperheads' 9th inning rally, but they fell short to the Owls yesterday. So I know that that's definitely looming on their mind with the offensive production early in that one not being what they wanted.
2-2 pitch. And that'll be fouled off as Guzman working a good at-bat right here. And yeah, you have to imagine that looms in the mind of the Copperhead. Just a great fight back there in the bottom of the 9th inning. Almost got there, 1 run short, and that infield pop-up ended the game by a position player coming in from the Owls. A very questionable decision, we thought, but it worked out perfectly for Statesville.
It did, and I was talking to Coach Stevens after, and he had the same idea that we had. That was just pitching was just too gassed for the Owls.
2-2 once more. That'll be flied into shallow center field as McNearney runs in and gets that one for the first out of the inning. So Guzman is set down, and maybe the man with the best bat in town right now, Kyle Whitaker, steps up to the plate. Whitaker had that 3-run home run in the bottom of the 9th. You can watch that on the SCBL Instagram if you want to see that moonshot that he had.
Now batting the third baseman, number 13, Kyle Whitaker.
Whitaker playing third base today for Lake Norman. Kuneski on second, Whitaker in the box. First pitch of the AB is low and outside for ball 1.
Interesting seeing Whitaker batting 7th here in the order. Still trying to get his batting average up on the year, however, after that bomb last night, getting the start, hoping that he can produce something similar as he fouls that one off against the screen behind the plate.
Yeah, when I was talking to manager Sean Stevens, he was saying that when Whitaker can get it up in the count 3-0, 3-1, he's a dangerous man, and a pitcher can't just lob one in there and hope he's going to swing and miss or just, roll over it. Whitaker's going to hit it far if he connects, and he hit it very far last night.
Whitaker, a guy that doesn't have to make good contact to get it over the short fence here at Cox Mill. If you haven't seen this yard before, it's 355 to dead center, 315 to the corners. So not a large field here as Whitaker swings and misses through a high fastball.
That's one of those big hacks we were talking about there. High fastball lit up the eyes right there. Maybe got a little too excited and swung right through it. So now Parson up in the count, 1-2. 1 out of the inning. Whitaker will line that one into left field. That one is over the head of the left fielder, and that ball is gone. Kyle Whitaker with back-to-back home runs on back-to-back nights. And, man, isn't he hot right now.
Absolutely, he is. And like I said, he didn't have to make good contact to get it over the wall, but that one just enough to sneak over the head of the left fielder, Lane McLevain. It goes off of the field house next to the modern Nissan of Concord, and didn't get all of that one, maybe only about 330 out into the gaps, but it was just enough to get the Copperheads up 2-0 here in the bottom of the second.
And the cowboy hat comes back out once again, and Whitaker will be wearing that thing proud for the second night in a row. So now James Zoman will step into the box with a 1-run lead. Oman with a great night last night, had 2 doubles and 1 single for the Copperheads. First pitch of his day will be high fastball for ball 1. And that Whitaker home run, it didn't even seem like it was hit that hard. It just kept floating and floating and eventually ended up over the wall.
Well, that's the thing with such a big frame like he has, is that he turns on it with so much power that had the right spin on it. It wasn't the greatest contact, like we were saying. It was a little bit off the hands, but it was just enough to float right over the fence. That one almost had the feeling like it was coming off a metal bat instead of a wood one.
Now Parsons shaken up a bit after allowing that 1-run shot. having to face Omen here with 1 out in the inning. The pitch that'll be swung on and through the left field gap in between the Kingsmen third baseman Mida and then Sawyer Reeves playing short tonight. So Omen gets on, and Xavier Baker will step in the 9-hole as the top of the order looms after him.
Omen's seeing that thing like a beach ball right now. I mean, he had some great hits last night, and he continues that into today. So the bottom half of the order for the Copperheads coming up clutch and looking to account for a few more runs here as the 9-hole hitter Xavier Baker digs in for Lake Norman.
Yeah, and Baker, another guy that's hot the last time they played for Lake Norman, coming off a 3-hit game. Omen will be going. Swing and a miss by Baker, and no throw down.
Ball popped out of the glove of Justin Stewart, so he didn't have a chance either way.
Yeah, and Omen takes his 5th stolen base of the season right there.
So Parsons sitting with the 0-1 count on the second baseman, Xavier Baker. Runner standing at second base.
0-1 pitch will be outside, and that will even up the count at 1-1.
Baker, a guy who was added into the order late last night, brought in as a substitution, I believe, in the 7th or 8th inning. Another one of those guys that was a part of the rally for the Copperheads. Parson going to step off, recollect himself here, is trying not to give up any more runs. Only 2 hits recorded in this one, and that was the single by James Omen, who stands on second, and the 2-run home run from Kyle Whitaker, the at-bat before.
Omen will be going again, and that will be fouled off, so Omen will have to head back to second.
You see Owen just a little frustrated.
Yeah.
Looking over at the third base coach there, and he was thinking he got a really good jump on that as well. I don't even know if Stewart would have been able to gun him down with how quick he was charging to third.
But we definitely do see manager Sean Stevens over there at third being very aggressive with his runners tonight. So Omen goes back to second. And Xavier Baker still in the box. 1-2. Copperheads up by 2. That one is inside. And the count runs even once again, 2-2.
That's one of those where you don't have a jersey that fits you and you're playing a rec ball that just nips the jersey and gets caught in there, and you just take the easiest first base you've ever seen. But these jerseys fitted pretty decently for these guys as they're rocking the Reds tonight. Kingsmen with the black tops, white bottoms. Both uniforms looking classy as ever.
Parsons skies that fastball, and the count will run full 3-2. As Ixarino waits on deck. He had a backwards K last time he was up.
Definitely not the way he wanted to get things started, but he'll have a better chance here as these Copperheads have started to see the pitching from Parson a little bit better as the night's gone on.
Parsons, a big pitch here, 3-2, 1 out of the inning. And that'll be ball 4, low and outside, so now 2 runners on as Ixarino strolls back up to the plate for his 2nd time tonight.
It's like Zane had said, Sereno with the backwards K, he went down looking. One of 2 strikeouts that Parson has had, both those coming in the first inning to Sereno and Jackson Taylor, who stands in the hole.
Sereno still with that hot bat, still has averaged over 350 after that strikeout, so definitely can swing it and drive some more runs in here for the Copperheads. James Omen will be going again, and this time he won't have to go back to second as that's his 2nd stolen base of the night.
Those are 2 of the easiest stolen bases you can come by when the catcher doesn't even have the ball in his glove. Still got the jersey dirty down on third, but easier work.
Omen with now 6 on the season and trying to chase Kyrus Dawson, who already has 8 this year. Dawson right now the king of stolen bases in the Southern Collegiate Baseball League, and Omen not that far behind him after tonight.
Dawson not getting the start tonight, but wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the 2nd game for the Copperheads as we have a mound meeting here for the Kingsmen. Manager Stevens and his batter and runner will discuss strategy, have a little chat, as just trying to calm Parson down right now. It also hasn't helped that Justin Stewart has had some trouble keeping the ball in his glove on some of the breaking pitches. Not that he hasn't been able to locate it, but it's just been keeping the ball situated in his glove because he's had a couple times where it's popped out.
Can't have it pop out here with a very fast runner on third base. Don't want to allow another run by a pass ball or wild pitch.
No, not at all. That's the last thing you want to see. If you were the Kingsmen here, you don't want to let that runner on third get by. You want to at least make Sereno work to drive in that run. So after the meeting, Parsons still stands on the mound with a 1-0 count. Runner standing on the corners. Xavier Baker on first. James Omen on third.
Runner will be going. Swing and a miss by Sereno and no throw down. As Xavier Baker will say thank you very much. That's another easy stolen base he gets on his end.
Smart decision by Stewart there, as Baker was already well halfway to the bag by the time Stewart would have released, and at the same time, with how quick you've got James Omen standing on third base, even if it is a clean throw down to second, Omen might be able to run the 90 feet before you can get the ball back to home.
1-1 pitch. That one swung on in the left center field gap. Looks like Omen might be able to tag up. Here comes the throw from the center fielder. Omen will be in there safely as the Copperheads now have a 3-run advantage. The throw from Cam McNearney not nearly close enough to get Omen, as Justin Stewart cannot place the tag on him. As we do see Xavier Baker stay at second, but the Copperheads now with a 3-run lead. As Christian Macedo will step in once again. His first time up had a walk. And now here to play with 1 runner in scoring position. 2 outs in the inning.
So the sacrifice fly for Ixarino increases the lead 3-0 for the Copperheads, all 3 coming in this frame. Parson trying to find himself out of a jam. No activity right now in the bullpen for the Kingsmen.
Parsons will fire that fastball into the strike zone for the first strike of the at-bat. Baker with a healthy lead over there at second base, but Aiden Rice playing with him, going back and forth. Just trying to keep him honest over there.
Christian Maceda had a 4-pitch walk in his last at-bat.
And that one a big swing and a miss, and now he's down 0-2 in this one.
So a little bit different of a scenario here for Maceda. Down to his last strike. Copperheads trying to bring in the man out on second base. Baker with a sizable lead, not being held on.
Baker will be going. Throw outside. And Baker will be out of there. As Baker looks like he got hurt there. As that was just kind of an unfortunate slide there, trying to get down, and
yeah, Baker
maybe a little too late.
Baker couldn't get down in time. Umpire rules that he was off the bag while contact was being made, slid through the bag, so Baker is out at third base. Ball was there in time, but the move by the third baseman, Anthony Mitta, is what made it a little bit questionable, but they say he's pulled off the bag, and that ends the bottom of the second for the Copperheads, but not before they collect 3 as we head to the top of the third. Anthony Casiola looks to defend the newfound lead for Lake Norman, as we'll be right back here from Coxmill High School.
And welcome back here for the top of the third inning. Anthony Casiola steps back on the bump once again after 2 scoreless innings. The Charlotte product with a great day so far, as his first pitch in the inning will be a ball. Casiola looking dominant today like he has all season.
Second pitch to Stewart, and that's a fastball that finds the bottom half of the zone. So Stewart sees the count ring to 1-1. Justin Stewart, the starting catcher today for the Kingsmen. Casiola looks in, and now he'll deliver. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. That's strike 2. So Casiola now ahead in the count, looking to get a quick punch out for the first out of the top of the third. Another swing and a miss on an off speed, and it only took 4 to sit down the catcher Justin Stewart, as Casiola has himself his 4th K of the day.
Now batting the left fielder, number 20, Lane McIlvain.
The left fielder Lane McIlvain digs in now for the Kingsmen, batting in the 10th spot as the Kingsmen are utilizing their extra hitter. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down in the dirt, 1-0.
Yeah, Casiola, as we talked earlier, not a big strikeout guy, only 10 coming into this game, but already 4 today.
Successfully retired 7 straight of the Kingsmen. That one going to be a ground ball over towards Xavier Baker. He'll flip it to Jackson Taylor for the second out of the inning.
Baker looks like his mobility over there good at second base after that scary slide into third. Good thing he shook that one off and be able to keep playing today.
So Reese saying that that last pitch recorded from Casiola was at 92. So back to the top of the order we go with Cam McNearney, the center fielder, up. He walked in his first at-bat, as he's looking to get things started here with 2 away in the top of the third. The 1-0 from Casiola. Nice two-seam fastball, had some good movement on it.
Last time Casiola faced the top of the order, had some control issues in his first 2 batters, but much better here again, settle into this ball game, and good count right here for him.
He'll step off the rubber, recollect himself. McNearney digs in, readies for the 1-1. Casiola holding that ball chest height before delivering, and that pegs McNearney on the back. He takes it on the chin and walks down to first base, as that one's got a sting.
I think that's really the first time tonight that we've seen Casiola really, get in on a guy that much and hit him. Obviously, that's the first time we've seen somebody hit him, but, run on somebody like that. And he's had control issues, but not close to the batter.
We've seen that control issue on the inside part of the righty's batter box, but never inside enough to really plunk somebody. But when you're trying to work your spots on the inside part of the plate and you miss, it's just an inevitability. So with 2 away and a man on, Anthony Midda steps up. Midda walked in his first at-bat, as he's hoping for a similar fate, looking to see if the Kingsmen can get something rolling here with 2 away. McNearney leading off of first. Casiola doesn't look over. He'll look in towards Kuneski, and that's a fastball that misses high.
And Casiola working relatively quick in this inning as he has all ball game on the rubber before some guys are ready to get back into the box.
Been playing for just under an hour here, as that one misses inside. Count now runs 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, these games will be running a little quicker than usual. I was just reminding for everybody, doubleheader here today, so only 7 inning games opposed to the regular 9.
Second game slated to start at 7, but probably get things started around 8 o'clock. 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one, that one will get started as Cassiola finds the zone there, able to move it to a 3-1 count. Anthony Mitica tie it up with one swing of the bat. Very big pitch here from Cassiola. Got to be careful on the third baseman. The delivery, and that's going to be ball 4. Fastball missed outside in a very similar spot that hit McNearney on the back. So Cassiola finds himself with a bit of adversity on the base paths here, as he has as many runners as he's had on all day today here in the top of the third. Sawyer Reeves is the next batter for the Kingsmen.
Very dangerous part of this Kingsman lineup. Has to be careful here not to just kind of throw one in there and hope for the best, because Sawyer Reeves, Burt Camper, and Dalton Reeves, the next 3 guys up, will make him pay, definitely.
Reeves had a strikeout in his last at-bat. Kind of where Cassiola found his rhythm in the first inning.
Now batting for the Kingsmen, the shortstop, number 5, Sawyer Reeves.
So we'll see what Reeves is able to do here for the Kingsmen. It's a big spot for the guys in black as they're looking to chip away at the 3-run deficit. First pitch from Cassiola is put on the ground towards the shortstop. They'll flip it to second to get the 3rd out of the inning. Ixarino flips it to Xavier Baker to retire the side. And 2 are left stranded for the Kingsmen. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd as the Copperheads look to extend on their lead here at Cox Mill High School on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Christian Maceda gets things started here for the Copperheads in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They struck in the bottom of the 2nd, scoring 3, piggybacking off a 2-run homer from Kyle Whitaker. As we have a new pitcher on the mound, Zach Soffel, as his first pitch goes for a breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0.
Yeah, softball product of Vanguard University from north of the border, just like his former pitcher for the Kingsmen, as that will be flied into left field, tracking back towards the wall and be caught. Mercedes just a few feet short from another home run for the Copperheads. As a good play from Kingsman left fielder Lane McLevin for the first out of the inning.
Now batting the first baseman, number 15, Jackson Taylor.
The first baseman, Jackson Taylor, digs in from the left side as he's up for the second time tonight. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses on the outside part of the plate, 1-0.
A very good breaking ball, though. Didn't get the strike call, but a great backdoor slider.
Taylor was a victim of a strikeout from Parson in his first at-bat as he calls time right before Soffel's delivery. So we'll reset on both sides as Soffel will take the rubber again. Stepping back into the batter's box is Taylor, as that's a fastball barreled into the gap in right center, falling for a single in front of Cam McNearney. So one runner on with one away here in the bottom of the third for the Copperheads.
Now batting the catcher, number 9, Jacob Kineski.
The catcher, Jacob Kineski, back up to bat for Lake Norman. He had a fly out in his first appearance. First pitch to Kineski is a fly ball into shallow center field. Running over is McNearney. He's able to make the play and retire the second out of the inning. Copperhead swinging often and early against this new pitcher. However, he's come out victorious in 2 out of the 3 at-bats that he's seen so far.
Yeah, the Copperheads very aggressive so far against this new pitcher, and we'll see if Jaden Hackbarth has any more success than the other two guys have.
Hackbarth reached on an error in his first at-bat. As our camera has gone out, we'll give you as much detail as we can as we get that switched up. First pitch going for a strike on Hackbarth. The righty will ready with the 0-1 count. Stoffel looks in, tips his hat towards the ground, and now he'll deliver home. This is a ball out towards right field, but going foul. Only about 10 feet foul. Would have been an easy double for the hard-running Hackbarth if it would have stayed fair, however, slicing out in the wrong direction.
And we had a ball like that last night, just like it, just barely sliced foul on that right field foul line, and it would have been a big hit if it stayed fair both times, but Hackbarth will have to step back in the right-hander's batter's box, and be down in the count 0-2, 2 outs in the inning with 1 runner on first base.
The 0-2 to Hackbarth, and that one's put into play into right field. Coming on quickly is the right fielder, but he's unable to make the play. Hackbarth will have himself a single. The runner will hold at second base, so now the Copperheads with runners on first and second. Luke Jenkins was charging on it like he had it, but it falls right in front of him as that kind of dropped out of the sky. Advancing to second is Jackson Taylor, and Hackbarth has himself a single.
Yeah, Luke Jenkins just kind of nonchalant ran to that one. Maybe thought he had it much easier than he thought, and then just kind of dropped out of nowhere.
So now the right fielder, Jeremiah Guzman, readies, and we'll have time as we'll have a meeting at the mound here. Stewart will head out to talk to Soffel, make sure they're on the same page.
Guzman with the big spot here, 2 runners on. 2 outs in the inning, and looming in the on-deck circle is the man who's already hit 1 bomb today, Kyle Whitaker, trying to make it 2.
First pitch here to Guzman. Soffel will look back towards second. Now he'll focus his attention towards home. First pitch Guzman sees is a fastball that misses inside, 1-0. Soffel readies. Now the delivery, an off-speed down in the dirt. Quickly, 2 balls and no strikes now as Guzman hopes to threaten with runners standing on first and second. Back, couple singles here with 2 outs for the Copperheads as Jackson Taylor and Jaden Hackbarth stand on second and first base. The 2-0 to Guzman is a fastball down low, and Soffel shows a little bit of frustration there after missing his zone there. Lets the locks out of the hat.
I feel like you have to challenge Guzman here, down 3-0, have to throw a fastball, because if you walk this man, you have Kyle Whitaker on the on-deck circle. Maybe he doesn't have the best average in the world, but you don't want him to connect with another baseball like he did earlier today.
Well, his last 2 at-bats, he has had 2 home runs, so you don't want to have to face him with anybody on base as he gets the 4th pitch of the at-bat to go for a strike. So count now sits at 3-1, and you got to feel you still got to challenge Guzman here.
And if you're Guzman, you have to be swings away.
Soffel readies, working out of the stretch. Shakes off the first 2 he gets from Stewart. Now situates on the 3rd. The delivery home, and that ball misses outside, so delivers a walk to Guzman as he was trying to paint the outside part of the plate. And now comes up the ever so dangerous Kyle Whitaker as he's 1 for 1 with a 2-run blast in the bottom of the 2nd.
Whitaker, not the guy you want to see stepping into the batter's box. If you're Soffel right now, probably the last guy you want to see on this Copperheads roster.
However, looking at scouting reports for so far this year, if you get ahead in the count, he is very prone to striking out. But if you find yourself falling behind, you're going to pay, as the first pitch swinging is a deep fly ball out towards right, shading under it, and making the play is the right fielder, Luke Jenkins, to retire the side. The Copperheads leave him loaded in the bottom of the 3rd. They won't get any as they strand 3. We'll be back with Zane in the top of the 4th here from Cox Mill High School.
Anthony Cassiola back on the mound for the Copperheads. And stepping up is Burt Camper. First time up for Camper. Cassiola got the better of him with a K. but still very dangerous. As Cassiel will get a sign from Konecki. Konecki spots up on the outside part of the plate, and that one looks like off Konecki. As I missed, I don't know if that was a ball or a strike. I feel like it was a ball from where that thing was located.
It was a ball on the inside, yep.
Infield shaded normal for the big righty. Outfield doing the same. Up in this inning for the Kingsmen is Camper, Reeves, and Rice. 4, 5, 6. That one swung on by Camper, and Casiola gets back into this count 1-1.
Yeah, Casiola throwing some high heat here. As looking to continue this very good game he has against this hot Kingsman lineup.
Casiola delivers the 1-1 pitch to the outside for a ball. As Camper gets a sign from his third base coach, and we'll get ready to step back in. Two-one pitch from Casiola, swung on by Camper. Will that ball stay fair? No, it will not. As that one slices foul.
Only about 5 feet foul there, wasn't by much. As Camper would have had himself a nice double here with the way that the ball rolls in this grass. It would have gone all the way to the wall next to the foul pole.
So the count runs even for the second time in the at-bat, 2-2. Two-two pitch. That one will be a foul ball as Camper's trying to check swing there, but went off the end of the bat. So the count will stay at 2-2.
And you can see the energy and focus between Konecki and Casiola right now as Konecki fired that ball back faster than I think Casiola's delivered one today.
Casiola looking for his 5th strikeout of the day. Here comes the 2-2 once again. And Camper putting together a good at-bat here, just keeps fouling him off and staying alive. As Casiola has yet to find that strikeout pitch. Last time these two guys met earlier in the game, Camper went down swinging. Two-two once again. And that one will be high, and the count will run full 3-2. As Camper's just trying to wear out Casiola right now.
It's been a very, very good fight from Camper, and while he does lead the league in home runs right now, this also shows how good of a player he can be. Even though he's batting .417, got to work your way back into counts to see pitches that you want to see.
Full count pitch, and that'll be a swing and a miss, and Casiola gets the better of Camper, and back-to-back at-bats goes down swinging for the first out of the inning. And Casiola's K counter goes to 5. As we have a PO up to the plate for the Kingsmen, Zach Soffel pitched a scoreless inning last time out, got out of a jam, bases loaded, 2 outs, and had Kyle Whitaker fly out to the center fielder. And we'll see what he can do stepping into the box, as that one will be lined down the first base line fair. The Kingsman dugout applause. He's going 2. Guzman corrals it in the right field corner, and he will get his first hit of the season. It's not too bad for a pitcher, huh?
Not too bad for the PO at all, and honestly, he was over there celebrating with the dugout. He could have taken 3 if he really wanted to. That ball was absolutely in no man's land as it slipped by the glove of Jackson Taylor, who was the cutoff man for Guzman, as he had to run all the way down next to the 315 sign in the corner. But nevertheless, a new bat was what the doctor ordered as the Kingsmen get their first hit of the day here in the top of the 4th inning.
And he'll be asking manager Hudak to put him in the lineup a little more after that one.
Absolutely.
So now Aiden Rice steps in once again. That one low and inside for ball 1. Rice had a sack bunt the first time up today, and I doubt we'll see another one right here, as that would go to 2 outs. but laid down a good one the first time down the first base line and did what he intended to do, advancing the run over from first to second. As that one will be fouled off, and the count will go 1-1. As people still continue to file in here to Coxmo High School on this beautiful Friday night.
Yeah, we got a nice crowd brewing here. Somebody over here with the tent making sure they stay cool. You love to see it. The Kingsmen fans that have made the hour trip to watch their squad play. Always love a good crowd here, but now the Kingsmen threatening.
Swing and a miss from Rice. As Cassiola takes advantage of this count 1-2. As Softball still in scoring position at second base. Xavier Baker holding him on, talking to him a little bit before this next pitch. Cassiola gets a sign from Koneski. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As a big grunt outlet by Cassiola, putting all of his body into that fastball, but Rice will stay alive, and the count will stay at 1-2 after that foul ball. Cassiola will take a stroll around the mound, regain his thoughts, and one-two count, one out in the inning. Copperheads up 3-0. 1-2 once again to Rice. And that one is low as the Copperheads dugout appeals for a strikeout right there.
Very, very close on the bottom part of the plate. However, just a bit too low down across home plate. Definitely in the zone, just not vertically.
So now Rice works the count back. 2-2. That'll be swung on into center field. Copperheads, center fielder James Oman will run and get that one. That ball will drop. As Xavier Baker couldn't get there, Oman just stands there in disbelief as some miscommunication between the second baseman Xavier Baker, center fielder James Oman, and right fielder Jeremiah Guzman.
Well, that ball was just in no man's land, and it's kind of hard to really pick who has it. And by the time you're trying to call out for it, everyone kind of falls off, and all of a sudden it falls in between the triangle of players.
Yeah.
So Luke Jenkins, the right fielder, has himself the biggest opportunity of the night for the Kingsmen. One away with runners standing on second and first.
And we've seen Cassiola tonight get in some trouble, but being able to get out of it as that one will go foul off the plate.
Heads up from Koneski there to field that while it could have been in fair territory and trying to gun somebody out at third. Could have been a really pivotal double play if they were able to turn it 3-1 there.
Although they can't get the double play, Cassiola still up in the count, 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch from Cassiola. That one high and outside for ball one.
Once again, a big scenario here in these two games that are being played today. Both these teams sit atop the SCBL right now at a record of 7-4. If you sweep today either of these teams, it's a huge advantage going into the halfway point in the season.
1-1, and Cassiola will miss high and outside for the second straight pitch. Needs to get his control back quick as don't want to walk this batter have bases loaded.
He's throwing harder than he's thrown all game right here so far in the top of the fourth. He's putting everything that he's got into every single one of these pitches as he's trying to do everything he can from keeping the runs from scoring.
Yeah, and when Casiola's warming up over there in between innings, he was doing pull-downs just back to back to back for about 10, 15 straight, trying to keep his arm warm. As he would throw that one for a ball and stays down on the count 3-1.
Jenkins flew out in his last at-bat, threatening here with a walk. Gavin Phillips is the extra hitter that stands on base, or stands on deck, excuse me. Had a strikeout in his last appearance.
3-1 pitch from Cassiola, lined into the right center field gap. As Guzman will fire that baseball back in, and the runner will stay at third. It's a great job by Guzman, heads up and firing them back in before the PO Zach Soffel could sprint home. But nonetheless, bases loaded, and a big at-bat here for Gavin Phillips.
Now batting for the Kingsmen.
Well, you went all game without a hit, and now the Kingsmen with 3 hits back to back to back to go ahead and load the bases here. 1 away in the inning, bases loaded. Huge scenario here for the Kingsmen as they have an opportunity to not only chip away at the deficit, but take the lead here in the top of the 4th.
First pitch of the AB, and a good block by Koneski right there. As Phillips, a big, short, stocky frame, 5'8", 200 pounds, the normal catcher. Actually, all 3 catchers tonight for the Kingsmen in operation is Bert Camper, the DH, and Phillips, the EH, and then the usual catcher tonight. So obviously very deep in that position.
That's what happens when you got so many talented guys in one position.
1-0 pitch. Swung on by Phillips. Count goes to 1-1.
Phillips kicking the dirt in frustration after the swing and the miss on the low ball.
And we see the Kingsmen very deep at the catcher position, and then we look at the Copperheads. Catcher is one of the positions that they're trying to find their main man, find their main man in, as they have 3 guys competing for that position. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Phillips, and he will be down in the count 1-2.
Every pitch that he swung at so far has been a ball. Cassiola has not thrown a strike yet, but Gavin Phillips, a little bit impatient here, and now he finds himself in a 1-2 count in a very big scenario with 1 away.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Phillips, and actually Koneski goes down, and that baseball nicked him.
So it looks like that'll be a foul ball, I think they're saying. Or maybe are they going to ring it up as a strikeout? We're looking to see. It looks like the umpire is saying that was a foul ball.
Yeah.
It looked like strike 3, but it must have just caught enough of the bat to redirect it onto the thumb or part of the hand of Koneski as he's talking with the home plate umpire here.
Yeah, it looks like he's checking on his hand right there. Phillips just had to, reach his bat out there and hope and pray that he got a piece of that baseball, and he eventually did.
We were talking about the impatience of Phillips. That was another ball that was way outside that he's trying to fight and figure out a way to get the barrel on it. We'll try again with the 1-2.
That one inside just misses. Count run even 2-2. Cassiola's been able to get to 2 strikes today. Just some of the at-bats he's had that put-away stuff, and then so far this inning, we haven't seen it so far.
That's been his biggest miss so far for Cassiola today is that fastball on the inside part of the plate. He's just had such a hard time locating when he's trying to pick his poison in the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, as we see Koneski going over to that dugout, checking out his throwing hand. As we might see a new catcher coming into the game.
I think we will.
Yeah, we saw Astadio catch last night for the Copperheads.
Well, we're going to see. I think we're going to see. As I think he's checking out his thumb. We'll see if another man gets suited up. I wouldn't be surprised if they tape it up and give it a check, but we'll see as manager Stevens is going to come out and have a word with the home plate umpire. But it is a possibility that if there is something injured in that right hand, they don't want to further anything by keeping him in the ball game, especially with the depth that they have at catcher.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine Andrew Schultz will be coming into this game because you had Astadio catch the 9 innings last night. And it'd be interesting to see how it plays out for both legs of the doubleheader. As we see Cassiola again, cold drink on a hot day, as David's doing the same here in the press box. Not as hot as it's been this week, but still very,
hey,
very hot.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Gotta stay hydrated. We are out in the elements like they are. We got a roof over our head, but
That's about all.
still got the heat.
Yeah.
Got a few fans blowing up here as well. But while we have a short intermission here, we're going to take one as well as we see what the catcher situation here is for the Copperheads. So we'll take a quick injury timeout and be right back here with you for the rest of the top of the fourth as the Kingsmen have the bases loaded and they're threatening. Dario Astadio is the new catcher in for the Lake Norman Copperheads as he got the start last night. Now he'll be behind the backstop in a pivotal 2-2 pitch here as Casiola is ready to go again. And misses inside. Count runs full now. Once again, a reminder, the extra hitter Gavin Phillips is up to bat. Had him down 1-2, but now 2 straight balls from Casiola. Finds the count loaded. Nowhere to put the runner. Casiola's got to deliver one in or a Kingsman will come to score. The full count pitch. And they say that's a foul ball. It catches the inside part of the bat next to the hands. Astadio brings it in, and that's going to be the second out of the inning. A huge out for the Copperheads as Phillips strikes out for the second time in the game.
Shocking decision on Phillips' part. He could not leave it mouth wide open.
He can't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. So now the catcher, Justin Stewart, coming in a big situation as Casiola missing inside once again. As we do hope that Jacob Kuneski is okay. We see him leaving the facility now. So we're going to go get that hand checked out. If we have any updates for you from the Copperhead sideline, we will let you know. But we do hope the best for him, as that's never what you want to see when you're out here trying to have fun in summer ball.
Yeah, especially on the Copperhead side, only have 3 catchers. When you go down to 2, that can changes the ball game completely, especially in a doubleheader. When you have a game last night and the doubleheader today, you have 3 catchers, 3 games, but now you have to split it up as that one is flied into center field. James Owen will track back towards the track for out 3, and Casiola gets out of that jam.
So Casiola works out of a big situation as the Kingsmen had 3 straight hits to get him loaded, but after the intermission, retires the last 2 batters to continue the scoreless streak of the Kingsmen. The Copperheads will be back up to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning, as we'll be right back with you here from Cox Mill High School. Omen gets things started for the Copperheads in the bottom of the 4th with a leadoff single as he continues his hot streak, as that's now 4 straight hits across 2 games for the red-hot James Omen.
And a great decision by manager Sean Stevens, keep him in the lineup. Saw how hot he was last night. Say, hey, I'll keep you in. You know, you proved your worth last night, and this is proving pivotal for them. Back-to-back singles for Omen. We'll see if Xavier Baker can get on base like he did last time.
Yeah, Baker with a walk in his first at-bat. Bottom half of this order was responsible for all 3 runs that the Copperheads have put up. 2 of those coming off a Kyle Whitaker home run. And another one of those coming off an Ick Sereno sacrifice fly, as Sereno now stands on deck.
One thing to watch out is Omen's wheels, as the pitcher will fire back there. Omen stole second base, stole third last time, then scored on the sac fly, so he buzzed around the bases and got himself a run.
And even though he's batting in that 9 spot, that does not mean that he doesn't have any talent. That does not mean that he cannot run. Is very, very pivotal for the Copperheads to have such a speedy guy at the bottom of the order.
Well, I mean, me and you are Reds fans. Remember back in the day, Billy Hamilton, he was a second leadoff man for about, 2 seasons. We put him in the 9-hole and did a great job there as being our second leadoff.
Only difference is James Omen can hit.
Yeah. 150 average. But once you get on base, I mean, that's all you got to do, man.
Yeah, that's the problem. You got to get on base. Runner goes, high throw to Omen, and he will be safe. Just sliding in there. The right leg was able to sneak under the tag. So James Omen now stands in scoring position with nobody out.
And Omen does a pretty good job of getting on base, huh?
He has in these last 2 games that we've seen him play, definitely. So the 2-0 count to Xavier Baker. Zach Soffel still on the mound for the Kingsmen, as he'll deliver home, and that's going to be a fastball down in the dirt off the chest protector of Stewart.
We've seen manager Sean Stevens be very aggressive with his base runners. Already had Omen still at third one, so something to look out for. Omen does go there, but a foul ball from Xavier Baker. As now he will still be leading the count 2-1. That's the second time this game. Omen's tried to steal third base, and Baker has swung for a foul ball, had to stroll back.
So it looks like we have some substitutions out there. It looks like Luke Jenkins has been brought into first base, as that's where he stands currently. So Baker digs back in. 2-1 count on him. James Omen standing at second. Breaking pitch, catches the top part of the plate. Very nice location.
What a beautiful breaking pitch right there. Just started his shoulder and dipped right into the strike zone.
It was a lot slower on the gun, however. Doesn't matter when you've got that much movement on it. Count now moves to full. Omen very jumpy back there at second base as he makes Soffel think about him a little too much there. Has to step off, recollect himself.
That's the advantage of having a guy like James Omen or Kyrus Dawson on your roster. Once they get on base, it's like having a second batter up there because the pitcher has to deal with him as long as the batter.
Long stare back at second. Now back in towards home, and Baker doesn't like the amount of time that he's standing on the rubber and the attention he's showing Omen.
That's just a great job by Omen right there. He's making his batter's job so much easier getting the head of that pitcher.
We'll try the full count now. Sending home, and that's going to be a ball outside. Baker draws his second walk of the night, and that brings up the leadoff man, Ixarino, to the plate for Lake Norman.
And we had this situation last time. If we see James Omen still third base, we had Baker still second as well, so watch out for that.
So Sereno has a backwards K and an RBI sacrifice fly to his name tonight. We'll see what he can do here with one away and two men on. Looking to add some more padding to their lead is the Copperheads. And Soffel stepped off, had a good jump on Omen, but Aiden Rice was nowhere to be found covering second. He wasn't ready for the throwback, and so Soffel will hold on to it himself, recollect himself on the rubber, and now he'll look in to get his signs from his catcher.
That one outside for a ball, and the count will go to 1-0. Omen's jersey getting very dirty, having to slide back into second and first base a lot of times tonight.
He's got the orange pants on right now.
Yeah. That one a great slider once again. Second time this inning we've seen that exact pitch, and it's worked beautifully both times.
So
1-1 count, no outs in the inning.
Yeah, so correction. I was reading off our outfield scoreboard, which is incorrect. Scoreboard that you have at home is correct, so don't listen to me if we make any mistakes. Runner's going to go. Omen sliding into third, and he will be safe. He split the tag as he opened up his leg, stood up over the glove of the third baseman, Anthony Mitta, and was able to get in there safe. An athletic and beautiful play by James Omen to bring himself 90 feet away, and runners now stand on the corners.
4 stolen bases tonight right now, and looking to make it more. Just a great show of speed on the bases tonight.
Well, at this rate, he's going to pass Dawson in 2 games. He'll be able to pass him by the end of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, James Omen came into the night with 4 stolen bases, 4 behind Kyrus Dawson's 8, and now he's equal to him, as those 2 guys lead the SCBL in stolen bases. And we see Ixarino trying to put some good wood on it as he did last time. He'll get another RBI sac fly. Last time we were in this position with runners on the corner and Omen at third, Xavier Baker at first. Baker took that easy base at second. We'll see if that same thing plays out here.
1-2 count. Nobody out in the inning. Runner standing on the corners. Huge opportunity here for the Copperheads.
As we obviously saw, Soffel being aware of Baker at first base, didn't want him to take another bag.
Connor Kolarov warming up for the Kingsmen in their bullpen.
Kolarov, a product of William and Mary, and he started that first game that we had, first game of the season against the Copperheads, and worked pretty late into that game. That one flied into right field. Well, Omen tag up, he will. Here comes the throw. And Omens will decide to go back, and that's probably a good decision.
And that was a cannon by Justin Stewart out there. As it looks like that is number 8, the previous catcher, standing in right field.
That being Justin Stewart from California U of Pennsylvania.
So a lot of switching here for the Kingsmen.
Very reminiscent of what the Copperheads did last night and all the switching they did late in that ball game. So now here comes Christian Maceda, another chance to knock in Omen at first base. Or excuse me, at third base. Baker at first, and umpire will call time. So, David, if your manager, Sean Siemens, over there at third, are you sending Xavier Baker, or are you just going to let this thing play out?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Excuse me. If your manager, Sean Siemens, over there at third base, are you going to send Baker to second base and see what happens, or just let this play out?
That's a good question. At the current moment, with only 1 away, I'd like to let this thing settle out. 2 away, easier scenario. I think I have trust in my batter, Maceda. 0 for 1 with a walk so far tonight, however, still has a good chance and an opportunity to drive in a run here.
Yeah, Maceda second in the SCB and RBI, trying to add to that tally with a runner at third. That one high for ball 1.
I apologize. You caught me off guard with the question there. I was so busy. I was busy editing my roster down here. I got caught off guard. Gotta get back. Recollect my mind a little bit. Get my baseball knowledge back.
A man of many talents over there, trying to do a lot of things at once.
So they definitely are worried about Baker standing over there, and we've already seen him take off towards second once tonight. Would not be surprised if he does go back over there, but second base is actually completely covered in dirt right now. You can't even see it with how much activity there's been over there.
That one goes for a strike, and Baker only 1 stolen base, that one being in this game. So not much wheels coming into this game, but obviously very worried about him as the count runs even to Maceda. You have to imagine if Maceda puts one deeply into the outfield, that's going to be a run.
Omen not being held on down there at third.
Baker will go. The throw down to second, and a great trick play for the Kingsmen. Can they get Omen? He got him. A great play from the Kingsmen catcher and the pitcher. Great IQ by Zach Soffel, throwing that one over to Anthony Mid at third, and Omen got a little too aggressive there, as he will be out 2 in the inning.
And that was the plan all day long for the Kingsmen. They knew exactly what the scenario was, and they knew if somebody was going down, they were going to try to trick Omen, bring him off the bag a little bit too much, and that's exactly what happened. A fantastic job from the Kingsmen. That's the first time I think I've really ever seen that utilized here in more of a high level of baseball, but a beautiful play and a fantastic job by the managing staff of the Kingsmen to draw that one up.
But I feel like that's the classic trick play in Little League right there. That's one of the first that you can learn is don't throw it to the second baseman, just fire it back to the pitcher. And a lot of kids in 12, 13 years are going to fall for that, as we see it utilized here at the college level as well. Maceda with the hitter's count, 3-1, 2 outs in the inning. That runner standing at second is Xavier Baker, as that one will go for a strike, and the count runs a full.
Maceda got ahead of himself a little bit on that one. I think that caught a good bit part of the plate. He was being a little optimistic there.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Softball trying to get out of this jam. 1 strike to go to get out. Now will be swung on by Maceda, and he will stay alive. Count will stay full as that one bounces off the snack stand. Soffel will deliver the full count pitch once again. And Macedo will fire that one into the gap. Xavier Baker rounding third base. He's coming home. Here comes the throw. And in no time for Baker as he will score standing up, and the Copperheads extend their lead to 4 as a RBI single from Christian Macedo, and the man who's second in the SCBL in RBIs adds to his tally. As now Jackson Taylor will have a chance to bat in this inning. Last time up had a single, and trying to keep this 2-out rally alive with another one of those.
Yeah, just a great piece of hitting there, and not much you can do when you've got that one fired through the hole between the shortstop and third baseman, and such a speedy guy. As he stands up scoring, the Copperheads extend their lead 4-0, and the pass ball will have the runner advance.
And just a great show on the bases overall from the Copperheads tonight. Had that one slip up from Omen at third base, but being very aggressive tonight and showing it off their wheels from first to 9 in the order.
I gotta assume that's Burke Camper behind the dish, as he's wearing a single-digit number, and the only other catcher on the roster in single digits besides Justin Stewart, who moved out to right field, would be Burke Camper wearing the number 9.
1-0 pitch to Taylor. That misses high and outside, and Taylor up in the count 2-0, excuse me. And yeah, we did see a big change in the Kingsmen order this past inning. A lot of guys moving to a lot of different positions. See how that plays out later in this ball game. 2-out count, 2 outs in the inning. Macedo standing on second. That one goes for a strike, and another great breaking pitch from Stoffel, as the righty's been able to dip those sliders into the strike zone today.
Jackson Taylor 1 for 2 on the day, has himself a strikeout and a single.
Here comes the 2-1. That one swung on by Taylor. That ball will get down. Oh, and what a diving play from the Kingsman left fielder. And that will rob the Copperheads of a run. Lane McLevin diving out for that one for the 3rd out of the inning. And that stops the bleeding from the Copperheads. They still get 1 in the inning and up by 4 here at Cox Mill High School as Anthony Casiola strolls back onto the mound for another inning of work. Come back here to see some more Lake Norman Copperheads baseball.
Welcome back as we get things started for the top of the 5th inning here from Cox Mill High School. Anthony Casiola is back out for his 5th inning of work, and up to bat is Lane McLevin, the man who made the diving play out in left field to close the bottom of the 4th. And Casiola's first pitch is where we've seen him miss many times so far tonight, on the inside part of the righty's batter box. So that one has McIlvaine jump out of his shoes a little bit, and the count will move 1-0.
We do see an arm warming up in the Copperheads bullpen, but still riding it out with Cassiola right now.
Cassiola with the 1-0. Barrel put on it by McIlvaine. Scooped up by the shortstop. Fires over to first, and Ixarino has himself the first out of the inning. As the Copperheads go 6-3 for the first out. So the center fielder, Cam McNearney, will be up for the third time tonight. He's had a walk and a hit by pitch, so has yet to put a ball in play so far.
As we do see Thad Lewis warming up in that Lake Norman bullpen. He pitched last night against that close loss against the Owls. As that one will be outside for a ball.
Copperhead standing with a 4-0 lead. This game only a 7-inning game, as we'll play another one right after the conclusion of this one. As it is a night full of baseball here, as we have a doubleheader slated from Cox Mill High School. So McNearney quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Cassiola looks in, now he'll deliver from chest height. And that's going to be a strike on a pitch that had some movement on it, sliding back over the plate. Count now moves to 2 balls and 1 strike.
Excuse me, it wasn't Lewis, it was Shaw that came in last night, as that one is ripped through the gap for a single.
So McNearney has his first hit of the night, as he'll be situated over on first base. As that brings up the third baseman, Anthony Mitta.
Yeah, batting the third baseman, number 10, Anthony Mitta.
Mitta, the man from Raleigh, North Carolina, try to start a rally here. Down 4 right now, needs to get some runs before this 7-inning game evaporates.
Mitta's had 2 walks so far, another guy who hasn't had a ball in play yet. Very short lead for McNearney, as Whitaker holding him on. Another first pitch fastball misses outside the zone, 1-0.
We have seen Cassiola struggle against some guys tonight, and it's really been the 1-2 hitters for the Kingsmen. He walked McNearney 2 times and then had a single right there, then has walked Mitta twice. Everybody else he's done relatively well with, as that one is flied into shallow left center field. The shortstop will range over, and a great play from the Copper shortstop, Ixarino, and he will have both outs of the inning, being involved in both.
Yeah, it was a great play from Sereno, as he had to travel a long way to get to that ball, but he was the only one who really could get to it, because Christian Maceda really wasn't going to have time to get in there, and if he was going to have to make a diving effort. That's just another ball that's put into no man's land tonight for the Kingsmen, and the Copperheads finally are able to collect one. So Sawyer Reeves now the shortstop, up for the third time tonight. First pitch that he sees is a fastball that catches the outer part of the plate.
Yeah, Cassiola's been kind of have been unlucky on some of those balls that have just barely dropped either down the foul line or into unfortunate places, but right there, luckily, Ixarino can get over to that one and help his pitcher out.
Second one is a strike. Nice framing from Astudillo behind the plate as he replaced the injured Jacob Koneski an inning ago.
And it looks like after this game I have to interview Cassiola once again. It's been a regular occurrence if I do it again. After his dominant performance last weekend against the A's, and then so far so good against the Kingsmen, and that one is barely fouled off. So the count will stay at 0-2.
0-2 just tips off the end of the bat of Sawyer Reeves. The once designated hitter, now turned catcher, Burt Camper, stands in the on-deck circle if he were to need to come to the plate. So Cassiola now looks in, readies from the stretch. He'll give the nod to Astudillo as that's a ground ball over to Kyle Whitaker. He'll fire to second for 1, and that'll be all they need. The Copperheads get out of the inning as they blank the Kingsmen through 5 We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th inning as the Copperheads look to add some more insurance onto their lead, as there's only 2 innings left to play here in the first game of this doubleheader from Cox Mill High School. Welcome back for the bottom of the 5th as the Lake Norman Copperheads have Dario Astudillo up to bat. The catcher came in during the last inning to replace the injured Jacob Kuneski, as we hope he's okay. Once again, still seeing if we can get any word on his status at the moment. We do know he left the field, and nothing major, just hopefully not a broken finger from him, as a foul ball tipped off his finger while catching. And Astudillo sees an off-speed pitch go by him for the first strike of the inning.
Yeah, we just hope for the best in that. Hopefully, if he has an X-ray, the X-rays come back negative and can continue playing this summer.
Soffel delivers that slurve, and it slides too far outside the zone, so the count will even up at 1-1.
Now, what me and you were talking about before the break is that slurve is very going, but not a lot of velocity on it, and you can kind of see the different arm angles he has between that fastball and the slurve. Coming from maybe a 12 point with the fastball and the slurve like a 10 or 11.
It's not a whole lot of difference, but it's something that as a hitter, if you can take notice of it, because there is a bit of a pattern with it. He's not tipping pitches, but if you can read arm slots, you can definitely tell what's going to be coming, as that's a strike that catches the top part of the plate. Count now moves to 1-2.
That's something, you see a guy once or twice, in conference play like we have the SCBL or in your college conference. You'll learn a guy like that, as that one is low and the count will run even to Astudillo.
Yeah, that was one still running from that high arm slot. It looked like to be a four-seam fastball. He buried just a little bit too much. So Zach Soffel now working on the 2-2. Another ball missing outside. So Astudillo has built himself back into a full count situation here, hoping to get on with nobody out.
Astudillo great at drawing walks and trying to draw another one right here.
The full count pitch from Soffel. Swung on and foul tip, as that was that slurve that was coming back in towards the plate, and Astudillo recognized it all the way, just a little bit too early on it, and that's what we were talking about. Not a lot of velo on that. However, the rotation on the ball can fool hitters, but if he leaves one like that where it's going to slide across the plate, like Soffel just did there on the upper part, look out, because there could be some damage done over the left field fence. Soffel gives the nod. Umpire calls time. Astudillo stays in the box. He'll recollect himself.
And Soffel can't find that location on that fastball, so he keeps going back to that slurve. We'll see if it goes back here.
And there it was, missed down in the dirt, so Astudillo has a walk for his first at-bat today. So the Copperheads have their first runner on as the designated hitter, Jaden Hackbarth,
Now batting in the DH, number 10, Jaden Hagbar.
comes up for the Copperheads. Hackbarth reached on an error and had a single so far in this one. So 1 for 1 on the line. Shows bunt as that's a fastball that's overdone a little bit down in the dirt. As Camper fires that one back pretty quick to him. A little bit of frustration between the pitcher and catcher.
And most of the guys, when you miss on a fastball, you're normally missing high, but tonight he's missing in the dirt with that fastball and has to keep going back to that slurve to get him back into counts.
Connor Kolarov still warming up in the pen when he's needed. Nice bunt laid down. Charging on it is Mida. Fires to first, and Mida with a great play. Runner going to try to advance all the way to third. Hard throw down there, and out at third base, called by the infield umpire. Very risky move from Astadio as he tried to stretch it to 3. However, results in a double play. First starting off from Anthony Mida, charging on and getting the out at first, and Astadio trying to stretch it to 3 with the normal third baseman Mida out of position, but coming over and helping out, making a great play as Sawyer Reeves as he was able to apply the tag.
Yeah, manager Sean Stevens has been very aggressive at third base, sending runners all night right there, and was a little too aggressive with his catcher Astadio. That's what comes with being an aggressive baseball team. You know, the good's going to come and the good's going to come on the bases, and that was bad right there. As that's flied out for the third out of the inning, Copperheads walk away with 0.
So Guzman flies out to the right fielder, Justin Stewart, and that's all she wrote for the 5th inning. We'll be back with the top of the 6th as the Kingsmen have 6 outs left to play as they want to try to get back into this ball game. We'll be right back from Cox Mill High School with Zane taking over.
And we have a new pitcher into the ball game for the Lake Norman Copperheads. Thad Lewis steps on the rubber. Coming off Anthony Casiola's great performance on the mound tonight. 5 shutout innings. And doing what he's done all season so far, and that's just been the #1 option for the Copperheads. Game in and game out. Lewis's second pitch of the night will be a ball. Looking at Lewis's campaign so far, 11 1/3 innings pitched with a 3.17 ERA with 9 strikeouts, 1 win, and 1 loss. Down on the count here, 2-0. That one will be lined through the gap, and no way the Copperheads first baseman Taylor could get to that one, and Lewis will have to deal with a runner on.
Burt Camper finds his first hit of the ball game as he was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Now batting, number 16.
And a guy that can hit that well, you don't expect him to go 0 for 3. He's definitely going to get on the board after a while.
Oh, not at all. You don't expect him to stay in
for
that
2.
slump.
Yeah.
No, yeah, well, you don't expect him to stay in that slump when he's batting .417.
That one will be a strike, and Lewis is getting back into this one after a struggling first at bat. Lewis will fire back over there and keep Camper honest.
So Zach Soffel still in the game, so we can either assume he'll move to a position or continue pitching. We still see the righty Kolarov warming up, and Astudillo going to take a second as that one fouled off his helmet.
And we see Soffel, he poked that double down the right field line, just barely staying foul, and that almost started a potential rally, but Cassiolo got out of a bases-loaded jam that inning.
Aiden Rice standing on deck for the Kingsmen. 1 man on, nobody out. Base hit from Burt Camper brought him to first. Now Lewis delivers home, and that's a fastball that misses down low. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
So for the Kingsmen here, you got 6 outs to play with, down by 4. I think you have to expect 2 right here with a runner on and nobody out, excuse me. 2-2 pitch from Lewis. That one lined up the middle. And the shortstop won't be able to get there. Ixarino just getting over his outstretched glove as he had good hops on that one, but just not good enough. And now 2 runners on. Lewis will have to reel this one back in before it gets out of hand.
Camper had to hustle down to second base there as he was waiting to see if that ball was going to be caught or not. And when he saw it scoot into the outfield scoot into the outfield grass, excuse me. He had to charge out towards second base and get those white pants all dirty, as we've seen a couple of those guys now wearing the golden browns.
Lewis just misses that fastball on the upper half of the zone. 1-0. We do see someone in the Copperheads bullpen looking like they're working on the J-bands over there, maybe just doing some arm work, because that one's popped up high into the sky. As that will be out 1, and the runner, Burt Camper, does not decide to test the arm of Jackson Taylor. So 1 out of the inning, that's much needed reassurance from Lewis right there, as his outing looked like to be getting out of hand very quick, but now just reeling it back in.
The right fielder, Luke Jenkins, now up to bat. He had a flyout and a single so far, so representing 1 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, Jenkins, the big 6'4" lefty out of UNC Greensboro, trying to put a dent in this deficit right here. As that would be over to the second baseman. There goes 1, and no shot for 2. As they will call out right there. I don't know what the call was exactly.
They're calling obstruction. He was not able to get the throw out, so it's an automatic out. And the Copperheads very quickly rack up 3 outs there as a pop-up and a double play represent 1, 2, 3. Down go the Kingsmen. They have 3 outs to play with, but before we can see what they're able to do, the Copperheads look to add a little more insurance in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be right back with that action here in just a minute.
And welcome back here as the big Kyle Whitaker will step into the box. Copperheads with still the 4-run lead in the bottom of the 6th. As me and David was talking in the break in between the half innings, last night there was a doubleheader between the A's and the Vipers, and the first game of the doubleheader went to 10 innings. It'd be a long night for everybody at the ballpark here.
Night.
If that happened, and there goes strike one.
Whitaker's 1 for 2 in this one. That one hit being one that he was able to touch them all on a 2-run blast that helped get the Copperheads 2 of 3 of their runs in the second inning.
That one will be low, and the count goes to 1-1.
Whitaker also had a fly out in the 4th. So back up in the 6th, finding himself with an even 1-1 count here as Zach Soffel back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work.
Whitaker will watch that one go low for ball 2. Up in this inning is 7-8-9 for the Copperheads. Kyle Whitaker, James Oman, and Xavier Baker. Baker had somewhat of a role in that final 2 outs that were very chaotic 2 outs in that inning, trying to turn 2, and the umpire called obstruction for out 3 on Baker, as that one will be down to the 3rd baseman. Whitaker will try to show off the wheels, but not in time, and the Kingsman 3rd baseman, Anthony Middo, will fire that one over for out 1.
Yeah, Mitt has been so dominant on the hot corner down there tonight.
Yeah.
And he, nothing's really getting by him, and even if you are charging down, doesn't really look like you're going to be able to beat him out much as well, as he's got a cannon.
And this is one dude that's stepping up to the box that's been charging around about all the bases here tonight. Is James Oman, already 4 stolen bases this game. And if he gets on, he can make that even more. First pitch maybe. And that's that slurve right there. Almost took off a piece of his face and then almost went into the strike zone at the same time. So the count goes to 2-1. Excuse me, 1-0. As that one will be lined to the shortstop. A good play. Can he get Oman in time? He can. As Sawyer Reeves fires that over, and the fast center fielder for the Copperheads, James Oman, can't get there in time. And now 2 outs in the inning.
A very, very quick 2 outs, I might add.
Just as you predicted and wanted as we were talking. Not a 1-2-3, as you said.
Not a 1-2-3, no. Yeah, no, I had a feeling about Soffel here. I didn't think that. I was telling Zane before, I was like, I don't think we're going to get any base runners this half inning. And so far, my prediction has been correct. We'll see if that changes with Xavier Baker coming up.
Baker will watch that one go low, and he'll try to prove you wrong here, hopefully, on his end.
So we'll give you an official time for the start of Game 2 at the conclusion of this one. We'll be somewhere around 30 minutes after, so if you're tuning in to the live stream for Game 2, we'll end this one and go live about 5 minutes before the start of the next game. So that one is already posted live on YouTube and just listed as upcoming. So you can make sure to check that out. Tune in for the second game, as it's sure to deliver just as much action, if not more, than this first one.
And if you're watching this game around the 704 area or the Lake Norman area, you still have time to come out to the ballpark and catch the second leg of this doubleheader.
Absolutely.
And you get in the car now and put us on the radio again, time here for, for Game 2.
Come hang out with us. We got a great crowd out here tonight.
Yeah.
Be a part of that. Bring some electric energy into the ballpark, as that's a ball that misses down low.
And the energy last night in the bottom of the 9th was very tense. We saw a lot of people standing on their feet and just waiting what would happen next. And what a crazy bottom of the 9th the Copperheads had, just ending up short.
Ridiculous.
That'll be grounded to the shortstop for out 3. And the tag placed no good, as the tag just misses Xavier Baker. Luke Jennings can't put a 6'4" frame over there to tag Baker. Sawyer Reeves' throw just pulls him off the bag.
Yeah, got a little too aggressive there. Saw how quick Xavier Baker can be, and just kind of worked his way a little too quickly. We saw the same thing earlier in the game when Jaden Hackbarth reached on an error on a throwing error from Sawyer.
And I think the happiest man in this ballpark that error was happening is Ixarino. Now he gets a 4th at-bat in this ballgame.
4 at-bats through 6 innings so far as Sereno looks at a breaking pitch that hits the dirt. Count will move to 1-0. Sereno has had a strikeout looking, a sacrifice fly for an RBI, and a flyout in this one. As Xavier Baker, who stands over on first, his stat line's looking pretty good for his OPS with 3 walks. The OBP will love that one too.
Oh, yeah. OBP matters much more than average in my book.
OBP and OPS are, I look at those much more than I ever look at an average.
Yeah.
We're in 2022. We gotta keep up with the advanced stats here. There's so many of them now. It's actually hard to keep up with.
Yeah. A lot of stuff that is out there that doesn't really matter, but it's a stat in its own way.
If you want to know what percentage a guy has a chance to ground out into a double play going 6-4-3,
you have it.
You've got it.
On a Tuesday night on, July 31st or July,
when the sun's out.
Yeah.
As there's a walk for Sereno, so he finds himself on base for the first time tonight, and that brings up Christian Maceda, the left fielder. Had an RBI single his last time up. Prior to that, has a walk and a flyout.
Number 23, Christian Maceda.
So the Copperheads looking to put more on the board, have some more insurance, as they've shown that no lead is too big in these SCBL games. The Copperheads put up 6 runs last night in the bottom of the 9th and fell just 1 short to the Owls. That game finished 9-8. If you want to check out that dramatic bottom of the 9th, it is live, or it is on our YouTube channel. Should be the video listed under this one. Skip to about 30 minutes before the end of the game, and you will have some great drama, some awesome baseball.
That one misses high for ball 2, and if you want to see that big 3-run home run by Kyle Whitaker, that's on the SCBL Instagram. A highlight of that great play from Whitaker will be on there, and you can watch that and potentially watch an interview after this game. We'll see a lot of great candidates for that so far this game, as we see a mound visit from the Kingsmen manager, Joe Hudak.
We do see Kolarov heading into the dugout, so we're going to see what the word is here. I'd be surprised if they went with a pitching change, as Kolarov does walk back into the bullpen, so there will be no substitution as of right now. Soffel sits with a 2-0 count on Maceda, who's starting to see the ball well off him.
Yeah, and Kolarov so far this season has been mostly utilized as a starting pitcher. So I would be very surprised to see them bringing in this late game, especially with the second leg of the doubleheader, trying to save arms and then use up all their guys. Before a game they'll be, start at 0-0, and now they're down by 4 with only 3 outs to go. As we do see the manager, pitcher, and catcher talking it over, and their chat has ended.
A very long discussion. Home plate umpire needing to walk out there.
Runners on first and second, a hitter's count for Maceda, 2-0. But Soffel just 1 out away from getting out of this.
A very quick 2 outs to start the inning. However, the Copperheads are keeping the 2-out rally alive here. Runner standing on first and second base. The pitch home to Maceda. And that goes for a strike, catching the top edge of the zone.
And it definitely has cooled down a little bit here at Coxmo High School. Probably dipped down a couple more degrees going into that second game.
Currently standing at 84 degrees. Clouds are definitely helping with the temperature.
That one swung on Maceda and over the head of the third base coach and manager, Sean Stevens. And the count will even up at 2-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Great job by Soffel battling back into this count with 2 straight strikes.
If you're looking forward to something interesting in the next game that would intrigue you a little bit, we're going to have a live interview here on the air during the third inning. Hopefully going to get a word with Anthony Cacciola after his night. But if we cannot get a hold of Cacciola, we'll have a special guest up here in the booth for everybody at home. As that ball fouled over the screen.
One of the key parts of the broadcast we had last year and in the long, long games we had last year. 19-10 finishes and much other games like that.
Competition just a lot better for the Copperheads and overall throughout the league this year as the Kingsmen coming to join us this year here in the SCBL, as it has just been some really, really good competition and some great baseball to watch, and has really, in my opinion, put the SCBL as one of the top summer or collegiate baseball leagues during or throughout the North or the Carolinas, as that ball is going to drop a single and one run going to come in to score. Lackadaisically running in was Baker. The throw came in. Still a little too late, so Baker had to turn on the jets and make sure he wasn't gunned out. Camper couldn't get a hold of the ball anyways. So Baker comes in to score, and the Copperheads extend their lead 5-0.
Yeah, it's great to see the Kingsmen back in the SCBL, renaming from the Piedmont Pride to the Kingsmen Baseball Club. Kingsmen didn't participate last year due to their mission trip. They went to the Dominican Republic and up to Alaska. They're going back up to Alaska this year to play some more teams up there, and they'll be away from the SCBL for a week, but for a very good cause, and we'll be excited to have them back once they go.
So with the single by Maceda, we will have a pitching change here, as Kolarov will come in to see if he can retire the last out of the bottom of the sixth. While he gets warmed up, we'll grab some stats for you and be right back with you for the conclusion of the bottom of the sixth inning here from Cox Mill High School. Jackson Taylor is up for the Copperheads to face the new pitcher, Connor Kolarov. And we'll switch it over to Zane to give some stats about Kolarov so far this season.
Yeah, Connor Kolarov, a product of William and Mary College. So far this season, a 9.44 ERA in SCBL play with 6.2 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, and 6 walks. 3 games played, and 2 of those being starts. This is his 4th appearance of the season. Last time he played the Copperheads, 2 and 1/3 innings pitched with 4 runs allowed and 5 hits. So this is his 4th appearance of the year and his 3rd against the Copperheads, a very familiar foe for him. And now it is a 2-0 count. Kolarov just trying to get settled in here in this appearance.
1 for 2 today for Taylor. Single and a strikeout. as that one rings the pole, holding up the net here behind home plate. And that'll go for the first strike in the count, 2-1. If needed, Dario Astudillo stands on deck.
Astudillo ready for anything with the shin pads on and in the on-deck circle as well.
Well, if you're not needed to bat, why take him off?
Yeah. As we see Kolarov stepping off the mound right there. 2-1 count, 2 outs in the inning. Copperheads still at 5-0.
Just under the 2 hour and 30-minute mark here in this one as we see Taylor foul another one off behind the screen.
And this Copperheads pitching staff has showed up in these double headers. They only allowed 2 runs in the 14 combined innings against the A's, and then so far 0 allowed earned runs so far today. So when they have been needing these double headers, they've showed up.
And it's been clutch pitching for the Copperheads, too. It's not like the Kingsmen haven't had any rallies going. They've stranded bases loaded once. They've stranded runners on first and second 2 different times. The Kingsmen, I feel like, and I could be wrong in stating this, I think they've had a base runner every single inning that they have stranded somebody out there. There may have been one inning where nobody was on. However, the Kingsmen have constantly had opportunities. They just haven't been able to close them.
And we've seen so far this year with Castellola, he's had runners on, but he's been able to get out of jams, and that's all that really matters. We had that bases loaded jam he got out of, and I think maybe 1 or 2 times he had 2 runners on and got it out of the inning.
So Kolarov looking to come in to retire the side. The 2-2 count here as he looks home. Swinging a drive out towards right field, looking back up, and that ball is gone into the trees. A home run for Jackson Taylor as he picks up his first RBIs on the day, and the Copperheads have blown this one wide open here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kolarov comes in and immediately gives up a 3-run blast.
And the cowboy hat comes out for the 2nd time in this ball game as the Copperheads extend their lead, and what a great shot in that right center field gap, right over the Chargers and the Cox Mill logo over there. That's a great way to end your day, as that might be your final at bat if you're not playing the 2nd leg of the doubleheader. That's just a great momentum boost going into that showcase we have Monday and Tuesday night at Liberty University.
Absolutely, and now with an 8-0 lead and a 4 spot here in the bottom of the 6th, it is going to be very, very hard for the Kingsmen to try to regain that deficit now as Astudillo lays off of 1. First base umpire says he does not go around, so Astudillo evens up the count at 1-1.
I'm very interested to see with the guys in the showcase how they perform against competition that's not in this league, and being able to play some guys that maybe they're college teammates that are playing in other leagues, and guys that are from completely different divisions and conferences.
A lot of good competition going to be played up at that showcase. You can find all that information going live tomorrow over on the SCBL Twitter and Instagram page. If you are in the Lynchburg area and you want to see some great baseball, you've got to come out to that showcases. Those are some of the best teams throughout the East Coast. Hard throw from Mida and rolling over. Hopefully okay as Astudillo as he booked it towards first base.
Can't lose 2 catchers in one game.
And Astudillo does a little barrel roll after being safe. It's not often that Mida can't gun somebody down, but with a slow roller and taking a weird hop, he had nothing to do but try to fire off of his back foot, and it wasn't in time. So Astudillo finds himself a hit, and the Copperheads continue their fantastic season against Kolarov.
Yeah, Astudillo with kind of a shacked and a full fall right there. Luckily he gets up okay, and now at first base as the first pitch of that bat will go for a strike.
Hackbarth is 1 for 2. Has a reach-on error, a single, and a fielder's choice. He finds himself the 1-0. That sneaks between the legs of the catcher, and so easily moving up to second is Dario Astudillo.
Yeah, Cedillo looks like to shake off that fall just fine and strolling over to second base.
I don't think he hurt anything over there,
No.
although I can definitely tell you that whole dugout was holding their breath when
Yeah.
he went down.
They held their breath and then they started laughing after they saw they got up okay.
Kolarov with a nice breaking pitch that Hackbar swings through. Now 1 strike away from getting out of this inning and alleviating any more damage.
That's something I think the guys will go back to later in the season, remembering that tumble.
He definitely got the jersey dirty, that's for sure.
Yeah. Bad thing for him is it's on YouTube now forever. It's not like he can't not relive that.
And called strike 3. Hackbarth is sat down. Kolarov finally retires the last out of the inning, but not before 4 runs can come across for the Copperheads in the bottom of the 6th. We'll head to the top of the 7th as Lake Norman looks to close this one out and take the overall SCBL standings lead away from the Kingsmen. Welcome back as we head into the top of the 7th here as the Copperheads look to close out game 1 of the doubleheader, currently leading this one 8-0. Pair of home runs in this one by Copperheads have led to this being a very lopsided game as well as some fantastic pitching. Thad Lewis is back out on the mound for the Copperheads as he replaced Anthony Casiola last inning. Up to bat is the extra hitter Gavin Phillips.
Yeah, Lewis has done a great job ever since coming in for Casiola and just continuing this dominant pitching from tonight from the Copperheads.
And Zane's a little sidetracked now watching Charlotte FC play.
And, of course, as soon as I turn the game on, Montreal scores.
Oh, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Always is.
That's what you expect when you have 13 players out due to health and safety protocols.
Yep, unfortunately. A 2-1 count now as Lewis delivers a strike right down the pipe as the count now runs even at 2-2 on Phillips. Has himself a pair of strikeouts in this one. Looking to finish it on a good note here as the Kingsmen need 8 to tie in the top of the 7th, and Lewis thought he had strike 3. Astudillo did as well, as it was a great frame job. However, a little bit too far outside of the zone.
Yeah, Lewis about to take a strut around the mound right there, but had to get back on for the full count pitch.
The 2-2 now, as that one's put into play, but lined right into the glove of Jackson Taylor standing on first base. And the Copperheads are two outs away from moving to 8-4 on the season.
And what a big win this will be for the Copperheads if they can, get the final 2 outs, get a lead in the top of the SCBL standings, and you have a little more comfort in that second leg of the doubleheader. Because if you lose this first game, you feel like you have to win that second game. Now, if you win this first game, you obviously want to win the second game. But if you don't, it's not the end of the world.
One batter at a time here from Lewis, as got to treat the situation like it's 1-0 with a man on third. Justin Stewart is at the dish for the Kingsmen. The righty has had a strikeout and a flyout so far in this one, as he fouls that one over the screen on the first base side.
And also, when you win this first game, it's a lot bigger of a comfort level for these players because you've beat this team before already earlier in the day, and you have to have that, and that burden in the back of your mind saying, hey, we've lost this team once, we have to win this game.
It alleviates a lot of the pressure on the shoulders.
I feel like maybe more pitchers than hitters as well. But this game, the pitching staff's done, phenomenal as they have really all season at home games.
Phoenix DiGiacomo will have a good feeling coming onto the mound for the Copperheads, as that is a swing and a miss, and Thad Lewis racks up another strikeout as he sits down Justin Stewart on an off-speed pitch. And so now it's the last call for the Kingsmen as the left fielder Lane McIlvaine digs in.
And if you like strikeouts, you'll like our next game because DiGiacomo second in the SCBL in strikeouts and not that far behind from taking that top spot. He pitched last weekend against the A's, and what a dominant performance he had. I think he maybe racked up 12, 13 strikeouts that game, and that puts him second in the standings right now.
He is a sight to behold on the mound.
Yeah.
Big frame, and he can pitch him fast, too. That's another reason to definitely come back for this next game. If you enjoyed the pitching matchup to start this one, you're going to absolutely love the next game that we've got. As right now, that game will probably start somewhere around 8:20 as, of course, with the final out here, our camera battery goes out on us.
Couldn't just hold on one more out, huh?
Nope, couldn't do it. Copperhead scored too many runs in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah.
The 1-1 here is a breaking pitch that misses on the inside part of the plate. Very close from crossing inside the zone. However, just stayed a little bit too far out, so McIlvaine runs ahead in the count 2-1 now. Nobody on, 2 out in the inning. Thad Lewis looking to get out of this one, and that hits McIlvaine on the helmet. Just a fastball that slipped out of the hands of Lewis. He'll give a little bit of a wave to McIlvaine, apologizing as he heads down to first base. But that's why you wear the helmets, folks.
Yeah.
As you could hear that one all the way up here from just a thunk.
Yeah, obviously never want to plunk anybody, especially in that head region. But if you're going to, if you obviously want to take it in the helmet right there. Luckily, he shakes that one off, goes off to first base, and, just a scary pitch anytime it comes around that face area.
So now 1 man on with 2 outs in the inning for the leadoff batter, Cam McNearney. McNearney had a single in his last at-bat. Has a walk and a hit by a pitch on the day as well. Off-speed pitch goes for strike 1 as that one broke from left to right, coming across the body of the batter.
And when you're thinking about it, you say it's scary when it comes to that face area. It's scary when it's coming out anyway. This Lewis pitching, maybe low 90s, high 80s right here. You don't want to come in anywhere close to you.
And swing and a miss, and now quickly down 0-2 is Cam McNearney.
As we might get the camera just back in right in time. The Kingsmen down to their final strike tonight.
McNearney on the 0-2. Lewis looks in. Takes a breath now, delivers. Fastball sparked the dirt off of the glove of Astudillo, a bit high. Count now moves to 1-2.
A very quick pit stop from Reese right there, just getting that camera battery back in.
The 1-2 to Lewis. That one's put into play, and it's going to fall for a single in front of the right fielder, as Jeremiah Guzman could not get there in time. And so now the Kingsmen have something brewing here, looking to break up the Copperheads shutout, as now Anthony Mitta steps in.
Thad Lewis with a very long leash he's going to have in this inning, being willing to make a lot of mistakes with that 8-run lead. Don't want to waste another arm before that second game of the doubleheader.
And Lewis is going to run this one out unless they score 6 here, but
yeah,
Lewis looking to get out right here with Anthony Mitta.
Yeah, Lewis with a great season so far, about a 3 ERA and a great day so far today, and I highly doubt will go to that extreme.
First pitch is a fastball that misses just outside of the zone, as Mitta has had 2 walks on the day as well as a pop out. So finding contact for the first time in his last at-bat. And once again, another inning with 2 outs and Kingsmen runners. The 1-0 down in the dirt, picked off by Astudillo, trying to throw back to second, and a good job by Ixarino to even have a chance to field that ball. I mean, he almost had to make a diving play to stop it from going into center. James Oman was charging in, but thankfully didn't have to come all the way in, as the Kingsman runner would have most definitely advanced down to third base. The 2-0 is put into the air, out in right field. Guzman is under it, and he makes the play to end the game. The Copperheads keep their shutout against the Kingsmen as they strand 2 in the top of the 7th, as Lake Norman takes the standings lead here in the SCBL as they move to 8-4 on the year. The Kingsmen move to 7-5 as we have one more game to play here from Cox Mill High School. Another 7-inning doubleheader will be coming your way in about 30 minutes, so stay tuned, checking on social media as well as YouTube to see when the official start time for that one will be. But as for myself, David Katzenmeyer, and Zane Metz here, we are signing off, and we will see you in about 30 minutes for the second game here from Cox Mill High School on the SCBL YouTube channel.